Hey, everybody. Welcome to Mental Health Matters, the podcast that breaks down stigma, makes mental health okay to talk about around the dinner table, around the water cooler, or across the Zoom world that we're in. So it's me, Tom Duff. I'm the executive director at St. Louis Counseling, also licensed clinical social worker, therapist, counselor, whatever you want to call me. But I'm so glad to be here with you guys again today, have a little bit of discussion. I'm flying solo in this podcast, so it just means we won't be on as long because there's only so much of me that you can really handle at one time by myself, right? So, but if you are interested in our services, check us out at stlouiscounseling.org. You got to spell out Saint, so stlouiscounseling.org. We have some amazing programs, amazing clinicians and therapists that are helping people make change within themselves on a daily basis. Got a brand new program, a coaching program for college students. That's a combination of coaching as well as your own mental health kind of expert to be with you on that college journey. So check that out there as well too. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time today talking about, we've been kind of in the doldrums, right? A lot of times people look at the winter season as the doldrums, that when it gets cold and the sun isn't out as much and people just hibernate, so to speak. And so we're starting to come out of that, just the normal season. And I know it doesn't feel like that because, here in St. Louis, we've been really cold over the last couple of weeks. But the reality is we are coming to, it feels like spring is around the corner. And a lot of times we associate spring with new beginnings and a new season and new things to do in that regard. But we're also looking at a couple different aspects. We know that with the start of this new year in 2021, that was a new and fresh start. We know that there's a COVID world that we are still living in, but then there's vaccines going on. And a lot of times I look at it as what will our world look like in a post-vaccine COVID world in that realm. And so we know people are getting vaccinated. We know there's stressors as well too, because people are figuring out how to get vaccinated, and we're seeing that doses are occurring and they're increasing. Depends on where you live at, of course, across the United States. But we know that that's moving in the right direction. And there's been a lot of anxieties and a lot of different world we've had to live with because of COVID. So when you look at this winter season we're starting to come out of, right? It's almost March. We look at vaccines that people are getting vaccinated with. We can maybe start getting excited again about the future, right? And I think that's what we've been dealing with for almost a year now. And it'll be a full year here in St. Louis. I think March 16th is when we kind of went into lockdown mode. And it'll be this full year of like, what's our future going to look like? How are we going to move forward? What's that going to be? And we can almost feel a little glimpse of what that could look like. So some things getting back to normal, like spring training is starting, right? Pitchers and catchers. If you're into baseball, we know that that started this week with pitchers and catchers reporting for duty. So that's like some normalcy that's going on in our world. That's something to get excited about. March is almost here, and a lot of times we associate March with spring, and spring is a change of seasons, which can be very positive. From a mental health perspective, the more sunlight we get, the more outdoor time we get, that affects our mental health in a good way. So knowing that that's coming, right, in the sense of March, April, and still it might be cold, right? But we know that's coming. We can look forward to something. We have baseball season that we can look forward to. We have March Madness, and I know the college basketball season has been up and down depending on what team you root for in regards to not only win or losses, but did they get to play games or not because of COVID, all right? So there's going to be a March Madness this year, which was canceled last year. Something to look forward to. It'll be different, but something to look forward to. So I wanted to spend that little bit of time today thinking about how we can affect our overall mood, because mental health, remember, we all have mental health. We all have mental health. Some individuals are dealing with a mental illness and they have coping strategies around that, but we all have mental health, and that mental health flows daily, all right, as an ebb and flow. And so the more things we can look forward to, the more things that we can think positive about, that normal ebb and flow will be feeling on a more positive level. So that's what I'm trying to get you guys to do today. So take a second out of your day. If you're listening right now, hit pause, right? Because you can do that on a podcast, and think about some things that you can look forward to. For me, it's some sports, right? It's some of that normalcy that's coming back. To me, knowing that people are getting a vaccine, and that means more people that are going to be walking around will be vaccinated. That means more opportunity for restaurants to be more at fuller capacity, more events that could be maybe taking place in person, and maybe that's less people there. But those are things that I look forward to that improves my mental health. Springtime for me is I love springtime, all right? I love, after winter's over, getting outside, doing different things, enjoying the sunshine, enjoying those temperatures. For me, that's great. Going out and playing catch with kids, being able to do some coaching with some of the kids outside. Those are all things that I look forward to. Going and being able to sit outside at a restaurant and enjoying good food and drink and being around people. Those are things I look forward to. So I challenge each of you to do that yourself, right? Make that list, and that's going to just improve your overall kind of mood. It will, if you allow yourself. Now, I know some of us struggle at times with the ups and downs of depression, and it's like, I can make this list, but it still doesn't make me feel any better. I get that, right? So be able to recognize that, and then have your coping strategies to connect to that list. So make your list, and then if you're someone who struggles with depression and anxiety, put in the coping strategies that you have. Maybe it means staying on your medication. Maybe it means forcing yourself to interact with someone else to tell your thoughts and feelings to. Maybe it means writing down in that journal your thoughts on why you feel you can't look forward to things. Those are simple steps that you can do to help improve that. I think there's other things that you have to look outside the box for as well. Change. We don't like change. A lot of people don't like change, right? I actually like change. It makes me excited because a lot of times change brings good things. But there's change you can do around your house, your apartment. Change the way the furniture looks. Take yourself outside of that norm that you're always used to day in and day out. Change the living room, all right? And yes, you might make your significant other a little upset because you're gonna be making them move the couch from one end to the other and back and forth, and then all of a sudden you gotta change the picture on that. All right, I'm going off on a tangent. I need to calm down before I get myself in trouble. But those are things that helps someone's mood as well too. So embracing on that change can be something, and maybe you don't like change, but start with little steps. Like maybe it is changing around the living room. And we're not talking about changing your whole career and your life and things of that nature, but little things that can add a different perspective. It's interesting, if I'm over at my neighbor's house and we're on the back deck and I look over at my backyard or my yard in general, I'm like, what a different perspective that is. I've never looked at it from that angle. I'm always used to looking at it from just the aspect of from my window into my yard or standing in my yard and looking around. And if so I'm only looking at what I want to change in my yard from that angle. But if I'm looking at it from my neighbor's yard, like, wow, that's really ugly having all of the kids' toys, outside toys in that corner. I bet you're tired of looking at that. Maybe I should go ahead and change that for them. But also for me, I know what that looks like then as well. So with that being said, as I said, I'm not going to talk a real long time today because it's a solo podcast. But I guess I know the anxieties we've all suffered over this past year. Even people that normally didn't experience anxiety are experiencing anxiety. We know we have teachers that have been struggling with their classrooms, with not only dealing with kids through this COVID process, but also themselves and how they're coping through this. And what I encourage you all to do is take that different perspective. You know, sit on the neighbor's porch and look over. And it's sometimes doing that within ourselves that can offer some of the greatest amount and chance for ease with our anxieties, and find something to look forward to, whatever it may be. It's the small things, or it can be a big thing. Maybe you are going to plan to get away this summer and go on a vacation. Start planning it now, getting yourself excited about those things. Being proactive means so much in that regard that you can allow yourself that chance. So with that being said, just want you guys to realize we all have mental health. We all are dealing with it. We all can make impact on our daily ebb and flow of mental health by just kind of changing things up. So remember, if you're curious about our services, check us out at stlouiscounseling.org, spell out Saint. And until next time, this is Tom Duff, Executive Director, St. Louis Counseling and Mental Health Matters.